Brothers, I have been a Trump supporter for a very long time. Even when things seem dark and bleak and everyone had turned their back on Trump, they were looking at DeSantis and everyone else. Anyone was a more viable option than Trump. I was still on the Trump train. And I gotta say, it's been harder and harder to defend Trump against some of his actions and some of his words. He recently retracted his endorsement of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, I have criticisms of Marjorie Taylor Greene. I think a lot of people do. But Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced something that I think is amazing. I am introducing a bill to end the mass replacement of American workers by aggressively phasing out the H-1B program. This is amazing. This is genuinely amazing. And Trump seems to be seething over this and her push for the release of the Epstein files. Now, I think that Trump's handling of the Epstein files is about as bad as you could imagine, including him losing his temper at a reporter. And usually, I love watching him lose his temper at reporters. It's hilarious. However, the way he lost his temper is really weird. It was really, really weird. I went over on stream. He almost seemed to like lunge at her. Like, he almost seemed, I don't know if it's because of the way the plane was moving, but he almost seemed to like lunge at her and he like poked at her. Like, it just seemed weird. The Epstein stuff has him off his game. But this H-1B stuff is terrible. I don't know who's giving him this advice, but optically this is very poor. And now Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming out there saying, well, I want to release the Epstein files. I want to phase out H-1B. And MAGA is torn between Trump saying, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not MAGA. I want to primary her. She's done. And Marjorie Taylor Greene saying, yeah, I want to get rid of H-1B. I'm going to be introducing a bill. Very interesting.
My dear fellow Americans, I'm introducing a bill to completely eliminate the H-1B visa program, which has been riddled with fraud and abuse and has been displacing American workers for decades. There will only be one exemption in my bill, and it will allow for a $10,000 per year cap on visas issued to medical professionals like doctors and nurses who provide life-saving care to Americans. However, even this $10,000 per year cap will be phased out over 10 years to allow us time to build our own pipeline of American doctors and physicians. My bill will also restore the original intent of the visa, for it to be temporary. These visas were intended to fulfill a specialty occupational need at a given time. People should not be allowed to come and live here forever. We thank them for their expertise, but we also wish them well so they may return to their home country. My bill will take away the pathway to citizenship, forcing visa holders to return home when their visa expires. In order to build our pipeline of American doctors and medical professionals, my bill will also prohibit Medicare-funded residency programs from admitting non-citizen medical students into their programs. Just last year alone, there were over 9,000 doctors in the U.S. who graduated from medical school but were left without a residency placement. Meanwhile, in 2023 alone, there were over 5,000 foreign-born doctors who received residency spots. This is entirely unfair, and it's America last. My bill will help mitigate the shortage of doctors and nurses in our country, the shortage that we face, while at the same time serve as an off-ramp from our reliance on foreign workers by allowing us time to fill our residency programs with American doctors. Now, this will completely end the H-1B visa program in all other sectors in the job force and in the workforce. This is America first. It's time to put American citizens first instead of foreigners first. And this has gone on, and this has been an abuse for far too long. Americans deserve a future. They deserve a chance. And I believe Americans are the most talented people in the world, the most creative, and I want them to have their American dream.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That is absolutely stunning and brave and amazing. I'm not being facetious. That is incredible. That is what Trump should be saying. That should be coming out of Trump's mouth. But Trump has been saying that Americans are incompetent, Americans are lazy, Americans are stupid. And I mean, what a dismal failure as a presidency. To say that the American people are too stupid to do these jobs. That you have to bring in foreign labor. You know?
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
Donald Trump is once again facing the wrath of his own MAGA base for essentially claiming that American workers are not sufficiently talented. And we're going to hear more from some of those outraged right-wingers soon. But first, Cenk, your 2 cents.
Here's what I love, that finally Trump's voters are beginning to see the Trump that we all know, which is an idiot who is part of the elites and the establishment and will just say stupid stuff right off the top of his head.
Well, I mean, first of all, Cenk, you're in no position to be lecturing anyone about just saying stupid stuff off the top of your head. You once advocated that you should be able to pleasure animals and have sex with them. No, we don't see Trump the way that you see Trump. It just happens to be that on this issue, Trump has shit the bed. He is not acting in accordance with what America First is. And yes, it was a boneheaded thing. However, J.D. Vance said the opposite. So this isn't that, oh, MAGA's turning on Trump. No. We are criticizing Trump as we have. When Trump came out with his initial H-1B statement with Elon and Vivek, Trump was criticized for that too. When Trump makes a mistake, we hold his feet to the fire. We criticize him thoroughly. Because the hope is to push him more towards America First. Whereas his current policy is not America First. It's not MAGA. So, Cenk is, as always, being a bloviated, bombastic bigot and just belching out these ridiculous lines because that's what comes familiar to him. But I think it's important to understand we can criticize Trump when he fucks up and does things wrong. But it does. Oh no, you're saying Trump. We always have. No, you accuse Trump of all manner of impropriety. You tried to throw him in jail. You have no leg to stand on as it relates to this.
Before they never caught him, I'll tell you why they're catching him now. And even Laura Ingraham caught him, as you're about to see.
Now, during this unusually contentious interview with Laura Ingraham, Donald Trump bragged about how fabulously the economy is doing in his eyes, in large part thanks to his tariff policies. And that's when Laura Ingraham brought up H-1B visas, which allow skilled foreign workers to come to the United States temporarily, and Trump completely stepped in it. Take a look.
I'm now at almost $18 trillion in 9 months. That's the biggest in the history of the world. China's never done it, never done anywhere near that. And all that money is coming in, it's investment. It's building auto plants, it's building AI plants. So by the way, we're leading China by a lot on AI. We have potentially the greatest, already it is, but we have, when these things open up, There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that mean
the Republicans have to talk about it, Laura.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Now, the H-1B visa debate caused a stir early in Trump's term when you had his tech oligarch friends like Elon Musk arguing that there should be more H-1B visas, arguing in favor of them, but then his MAGA OGs like Steve Bannon arguing against them. By the way, Musk's Tesla allegedly laid off thousands of their skilled American workers in 2024 and replaced them with cheaper foreign workers using H-1B visas. Trump tried to placate his MAGA base by signing an executive order that instituted a $100,000 fee for companies to obtain the visas back in September. But now he's thoroughly enraged them again by insulting American workers. Marjorie Taylor Greene took issue with his comments, writing on X, I believe in the American people. I'm one of you. I believe you are good, talented, creative, intelligent, hardworking, and want to achieve. I'm solidly against you being replaced by foreign labor like with H-1Bs. I am solidly against allowing foreign students into our colleges and universities like 600,000 Chinese students just to financially prop them up. If they fail, they fail. The system in place isn't helping our young people anyways.
She's right. She's right. And the reality is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is behaving more in line with America First and MAGA than Trump is. It's just an observable fact. This is America First, saying, no, we don't want 600,000 Chinese students. No, we don't want foreign labor. No, we don't think that Americans are retarded and can't do the work. No, you should be incentivizing American citizens to, like with ICE. Trump, this is probably one of his biggest blunders that I've seen, because it fundamentally fails to read the room. This is one of Trump's biggest blunders, demonstrating you don't have faith in the American people. That is retarded. Genuinely retarded. And Trump is going to pay a heavy political price for that. And with the Epstein files, I don't know if he's going to be able to win back a lot of the people that he's losing. Because if I'm looking at this and going, Trump, you fucked up, you know it's bad. Like, genuinely. I've been a Trump supporter for a long time. But I've always maintained that if Trump fucked up or if he betrayed America First, then I'd be there to criticize it. And he definitely has in innumerable ways lately.
She's referring to another moment in the interview there where Laura Ingraham challenged Trump's plan to bring thousands of Chinese students into the country. He defended the policy and said, don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better.
No, you don't. You didn't make MAGA. MAGA made you. That is a total and complete inversion. You did not make MAGA. MAGA made you. The arrogance. It's crazy. It really is. We like Trump being braggadocious, but this is on another level. Trump has shit the bed. This is bad optics, bad messaging. I don't even know what you make of this at this point. You know? Do I still support Donald Trump? Yeah. Because I think he does have a lot of good things that he's doing. Of course. But at the same time, I'm going to criticize Trump heavily when he does things that's wrong in the hope that we push him towards being more conservative, being more in line with America first
than anybody else. But based on the responses from dozens of other MAGA figures, I'm not so sure that's true. Anthony Sabatini, a Republican politician from Florida, said, "This is insane. We are going to lose the midterms so badly. We've never seen an administration crash and burn in its first year so badly for no reason other than to appease donors and special interests. Trump has surrounded himself with the worst people." Tim Pool, right-wing podcaster, added, "Don't worry, Trump is bringing in more H-1Bs to make sure our young people are blanked." Conservative activist Mike Cernovich said Trump broke everyone's heart with this line about the American workforce and H-1Bs. He also accused Trump of only listening to donors, which Candace Owens co-signed. And on his show today, Steve Bannon said the H-1B program is indentured servitude to compete against Americans and take jobs for lower wages. As usual, now the rest of Trump's cabinet is trying to do some damage control. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent insisting that foreign workers are just a temporary fix. Take a look.
I think the president's vision here is to bring in overseas workers where these jobs went.
Who have skills.
Who have the skills, 3, 5, 7 years to train the U.S. workers. Then they can go home, the U.S. workers fully take over.
So do you understand the concern that people have? Hey, an American can have that job. Why you give it to a guy from
But an
India or
American
China?
can't have that job
So
because
it's specific skills.
Because we haven't built ships in the U.S. for years. We haven't built semiconductors. So this idea of overseas partners coming in, teaching American workers, then returning home, that's a home run.
Cenk, what do you make of this?
Yeah, it's so complicated. So Trump's reaction is not complicated. I'll come back to that. But the H-1B visa issue is complicated. Why? It definitely has a use. It definitely has a value. But has it been abused? Yes. So is it only used for foreigners to come in, teach Americans a skill set, and then leave? No way. They're totally making that up. That's actually a rare instance, right?
Well, yeah, because he's not talking about it the way that it's been used. He's talking about it in the way that he's, translating the way that Trump wants to use it. But no, that is not the way that it's been used. Cenk is actually right when it comes to that. It has not been used in that way. But that's Trump saying that's how he wants to use it. Now, I think that's fundamentally wrong. I think that is incorrect. You can train, you have people in the United States that can train people in the United States on this. You don't need foreign labor. You don't need third worlders to come here. You don't. It is outrageous to say so. You are trying to sell the American people on bullshit.
Have I seen, and I'm not sure that it was in regards to H-1B visas, but a similar topic where a friend of mine taught his replacements that were coming in from India how to do their jobs, and then those replacements took the jobs. And he didn't have a choice. They were going to be let go, and their incentives, etc. Somebody was going to teach them anyway. My point is, it usually works in reverse. They don't usually have cheap labor teach more expensive labor. They usually have expensive labor teach cheaper labor, and then use cheaper labor for the rest of the time, right? So that don't get tricked by Scott Bessent and his nonsense propaganda, or anything he ever says. Okay, so.
Cenk is bombastic, but he is correct. He is correct. Very rarely do you have expensive labor teach cheap labor so that cheap labor can then go and teach expensive labor. No. Yeah, it is bullshit. Now, I don't agree with the Young Turks on nearly anything as it relates to politics. I think that a lot of these people are malicious bad actors acting in bad faith. I think that their analysis of Trump, I mean, it speaks for itself. I still sometimes watch the video of Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks crashing out at Trump's victory in 2016. But the fact is that in this instance, he's correct. That it is not logical to say, oh, well, we're just going to bring in people temporarily to train Americans. No, you're not. And we know that you're not. So don't lie to us.
Oh, all right. Now, but at the same time, there are some places where H-1B visas definitely make sense. I would not be in the camp of, no, well, you got to ban these foreigners and they're of no value to us at all, and we don't need any stinking foreigners around here.
Yeah, Cenk, you know, like that, you've lost me. And you lost everyone else. Yeah, no, we don't need any stinking foreigners here. We don't need any people here from the third world. You know, we have reached our quota on anti-American gwiftas who are abusing the system and have no allegiance to this country. So, yeah, I hope that Trump gets his shit together. He's completely out of his mind on this. He's wrong. Hopefully somebody sets him straight, but who knows? Anyway, brothers, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you next time.